Hello, psychology scholars. Dr. McNeil here. Happy Tuesday. I hope you are still sort of enjoying yesterday's session. I've thought a lot about or reflected about Audrey's lecture yesterday and also the work that we did looking at couples therapy and diagnosing and identifying the elements, the components, the characteristics, the skills that licensed psychologists are using in their interventions in a therapeutic intervention. So one of the things, the reason that I'm reaching out now or recording this quick video is to take us through the rest of this week. Yesterday we worked on a couple on therapy, and we're going to be continuing that. But I want to show you very briefly how to create a figure and walk through the steps of how to create a figure. This is a really advanced feature. A lot of doctoral students don't know how to do this. And so my goal, really, I think maybe even my mission is to make sure that students, all the students that I teach have exposure to these advanced writing techniques because it is so important to your success as a scholar. All right, so I'm going to show you how I created the figures that I have in this sample paper that I'm also going to load up. Um, Obviously, you're going to be using, figures that are relevant to your paper, but the steps are the same. And this has to be, unfortunately, I mean, if you're using Google Docs, I think you can do this. So I want to make sure the opportunity is available to everybody. So if you're using Google Docs, let me know and I'll figure out a way to make sure that you know how to do it using Google Docs. I'm going to show you how to do it in Word. All right, so let's go to the first figure. I have a figure that corresponds to the Kirkpatrick method or model that I talk about, and also Kolb's experiential model. So I'm going to take these elements out and then add them back to show you how it's done. Let's get rid of the last one. And there are actually two elements. There's I've got my brain just stopped. I'll see what this is. Oh yeah, my brain just stopped. Anyway, this little area and the figure itself. We're gonna highlight them both. And all I did was click the first little element and then hold down the shift key and click the second element. And with them both selected, I can press delete and I'll remember what that other element is as I create it. Can we do the same thing for this one? Shift to click the first element and shift click to select the second and then press delete. Okay, so now they're gone. So I'm going to go to the first area, the paragraph where I mention this figure. Obviously, I'm doing this sort of in reverse. I've already done it, but you would be doing this as you're working through your paper. So with my cursor at the beginning of the paragraph where the figure is going to be attached, I clicked I clicked the insert button, and you'll notice there's a button here for pictures. If you click pictures and click the odd also. Let me make sure. There we go. Online pictures, click online pictures, and a little menu bar opens up. And I'm looking for Kirkpatrick model. So I'm just going to type that in. And there it pops up. So there's some other options here that relate to the Kirkpatrick model. You can just scroll through what you're looking for. I'm just going to select the first one and click insert. And now you can see that it's added at the beginning of this paragraph. So I need to scale it down and move it where I want it to be. Most likely, I need it to be on the right margin. So this area is called picture format. If I click this arrow in between, it's going to scale the the element, the figure down equally. So I'm going to make it 2 inches so that it's even. It reserves the ratios. If I scroll up or down, there is the element. All right. So it also brings, if there are elements that relate to open educational resources, that's what this information is. In a paper, assignment, you don't need this. So if you highlight it and then press the delete button, it gets rid of that attribution. Okay, so now with the figure selected, you know that it's selected because there are arrows around it. I'm going to hit the right mouse button and I'm going to tell it that little element is called a caption. That's what it's called. I'm going to wrap this text, and there are 4 options: square, type, through, or top and bottom. And really what I'm trying to do is to have the text flow around. See how it's starting down here? When I select square, it's going to flow up here so it flows around the element. Again, right mouse button, wrap text, and I'm going to choose square. So now it's up there. Okay. So now that it's up there, I want to move it to the right. Again, hit the right mouse button, choose wrap text, more layout options, and it gives us another dialog box. Hopefully you can see that. I'm going to choose positioning, and then I want alignment to the right. When I select that, it's going to put the figure on the right and everything is going to flow around it. So you can see it here. It's going to be, as soon as I click OK, it's going to move it over here and everything's going to flow. Okay, so now it's there. So I have to add the caption. That's the element that I can remember. But I want to move this down. See how I'm calling out figure 1? I always think it's best that a figure is aligned. When the eye reads figure 1, the reader isn't going, trying to find where is figure 1. So I'm going to move it down. So holding down onto the shift button with one hand, and then if I click and drag down, it will stay kind of in that flank. So I'm going to move it down to figure 1. So when the reader reads figure 1, they're going to actually then see the figure. But I need to add the caption. So again, with the right mouse button, select Insert Caption. And it's going to give me figure 1 as the caption. And I want it to be above the selected item because that's how it works. So now this caption is aligned with this figure. I still have to do a couple more things. That's why this is extra credit. I have to highlight this whole thing because APA requires that the figure caption be not in italic, but that it be in bold. So I turned italics off and I turned on bold. And sometimes I'm not sure why it's a different color like dark blue. We need it just to be dark, to be black. So to change the font, you go here and change the font. Now I need a title for this figure. So if I hit return, the figure and its title are also double spaced, but the title has to be in italic. So I'm going to call this the Kirkpatrick model. The Kirkpatrick model. There we go. Now, if I click the caption and then shift click the figure, what I want is those 2 elements to be a group. So no matter what happens to the caption, it is always connected to the figure. So now that I highlighted them both, hit the right mouse button again and choose group. So now this is all a group. So because I kind of want to move it down some more, holding it, remember holding the shift button and clicking. Yeah. So now the reader reads figure 1 is an illustration and their eye naturally goes to figure 1. So that's how easy it is. And then if I want to, I can, if I want to change the size, select the image, the figure again, but holding on to the shift button, if I grab one of the corners, when I move out or in, it stays within the ratio. So you just find a nice size that you think is readable, and there's no real set guidelines about that. But that's how we would do the first figure. So I'm going to go ahead and do the second one. Also notice that I call out the figure, I say it's an illustration, and I go on to explain the figure. What you don't want to do is just plop a figure down and never explain what it is or walk through why you're using it. So you'll see that I'm walking through each step. I talk about reaction, learning, behavior, and results. You can see that here. And then I'm connecting uh, reaction learning, connecting all here, reaction, learning, behavior, results. I'm connecting it. Let's do the same thing for figure two for Kolb's theory. So again, I'm going to go to that paragraph and put my cursor there. Insert here, picture from online pictures. I'm going to type in Kolb's theory. Have lots of options to choose from. I originally chose this one. Let's choose a different one. Let's choose this one. All right, I select it and it says insert. It's ready to be inserted. Remember, it's going to place it right here in front of to help teams. Remember that? To help teams. All right. Remember, we can get rid of this attribution by clicking on it and the cursor is blinking. But if you hit the escape button so they can get out of it, but now when you hit the delete button, it's going to actually delete that attribution. And then I'm going to select it again, go to the picture format. I want it to be maybe 2 inches by, and it gives the ratio 2 by 4.42. All right, so click on it again. We have to have it flow around the text. So right mouse button, wrap text, square, so that there's a little bit margin. Tight is that it's right up against it. I like square. There it is. I want to put it to the right side. Right mouse button but again, wrap text, more layout options, positioning, alignment, right, and OK. Now with it highlighted, I'm going to shift click and move it down a little bit. I have to add my caption, right mouse button, insert caption. Sometimes it says the figure is going to place it below. You have to make sure to select above figure two. There it is. All right. Remember, highlight it, turn off italics, turn on bold, make sure the font color is black, hit return, give it, put in italics, give the figure a title, Kolb's Experiential Model. Select the caption. Well, actually, see, I think the caption is so close to the figure. So I'm just going to move it down a little bit so that there's a little bit of space. Then I'm going to select the caption and holding down shift, select the figure. I want to group them together. So right mouse button, group. And now when I move it, it's going to move with uh, the caption and the figure is going to move. So here's where I talk about figure two. Now it could be interesting here that I'm running off the page. So if I move it down, there we go. It's kind of moving off the page a bit, but if I click the left side and drag it in a little bit, or remember holding on to the shift button. Now I can see that I'm getting like a little bit of the the font is too big, so I can highlight all of that and then just move the font size down a little bit. And that's how you put in figures in in a paper. I want to challenge you. There are some of you who are fairly competent writers, and there's always an opportunity for a growth moment, and putting in figures is a growth moment. For some of you, the growth moment is writing a paper using a title page, an introduction paragraph, and a conclusion. For some of you, it's getting the format of all that correct and making sure that your references are formatted correctly, that they're alphabetized, that they're in the right format or the right structure. For some of you, the learning is making sure that you're writing in the 5 sentence paragraph, the meal plan, making sure that there's a citation in the second sentence, every second sentence. For some of you, it's getting the sources from the library and making sure that you understand what is a peer-reviewed source or not. So there's challenges everywhere. And I'm just looking to see you challenge yourself at the level that is commensurate to your learning and that you are pushing yourself to that next level. So far, as I'm getting ready for our final class tomorrow, I've just been thinking and reflecting over the entire journey, how much I've enjoyed working with you and making sure that tomorrow we bring our time together to a conscious and meaningful close as you move out of summer and go back to the fall term and you continue your plans to graduate and move on. It's been such a pleasure working with you. I hope this video helps. I'm looking forward to seeing you all tomorrow. See you then.